Hello, my name is Brian. I'm with Robbins Plumbing. I'm the VP over here at Robbins Plumbing, and I'm here to talk to you today about water softeners. To get started, first thing I'm going to do is let you know exactly what is hard water, because ultimately that's what the water softener is installed for, is hard water. Hard water by definition is basically just water with a bunch of stuff in it, mostly minerals like calcium and magnesium. Those are the primary ones. There's some other stuff in there too, but it's in there, and it's measured by parts per million, or ppm. Parts per million is just like it sounds. It's how many parts of minerals per million parts of water. So for example, if it's reading 750, you've got 750 parts of minerals per parts of water. Pretty simple. So next thing is hard water bad for you? Well, that depends on who you ask. Some people are going to say absolutely, hard water is really bad for you. It's going to destroy all your plumbing and this and that, and they're not wrong. Hard water is very hard on your plumbing. And then on the other side, you're going to have a lot of people say, hey, hard water is good for you. It's got all those minerals and stuff that your body needs. They're not wrong either. So there really isn't a right answer or a wrong answer to that. It really comes down to personal preference and whether or not you're okay with the hard water destroying your plumbing for the health benefits, or you want to protect your plumbing and get your minerals from someplace else. That's obviously doable too. So today we're going to specifically refer to salt softeners and how they work. Ultimately, salt softeners will do what's called an ion exchange with the sodium and other minerals that are in the water. So it's going to consist of two different tanks. You're going to have your brine tank and you're going to have your resin tank. Sometimes you might see one system where the resin tank is sitting inside the brine tank, so it looks like one, but there is still two tanks. They'll just collapse them for space saving and whatnot. But you're going to have the two tanks, and the resin tank is where all the magic happens. Inside the resin tank is just that, a bunch of resin, a specific type of material that holds onto the ions from the salt or your sodium ions on it. And as water passes through it, it will exchange those sodium ions for the minerals that are in the water. Obviously, it can't last forever, so at some point in time, it has to be cleaned. And that's when it regenerates or recycles, depending on who you're talking to. There's lots of different verbiage for it. And that's where the the brine tank comes into account. The brine tank will actually hold all the salt pellets that you add to the system, and it'll have a little bit of water in there, and it super concentrates that water into a salt brine, hence brine tank. Well, when the system regenerates, it actually reverses its flow, and it pulls the water out of the brine tank and washes this resin, all the minerals and stuff on there, and sends it on down the drain. And then recharges the resin with the sodium ions so that once it stops regenerating, it starts the system all over again. So it's a pretty simple basic on how it works. And it just says that over and over and over again, and those resin beads will on average last, depending on how hard your water is or how you have your salinity set at, different variables, will last somewhere between 5 and 8 years on average. Here in Arizona, in the Valley of the Sun, we always recommend doing something sometime between that 5 and 8 years, probably closer to the 5, because we have pretty hard water out here. So something else to consider, and a lot of people don't realize though, and where really becomes a discussion, I think it's something that should be discussed more often, is the chloride ions that it also ends up in the water. What most people don't realize is salt, which is what we're using to soften the water, is actually made up of two parts, sodium and chloride. Well, when that breaks down in there and you get those ions collected to there, those chloride ions are also there too. So those also end up in the water. You don't really feel the chloride ions though. When you get in the shower and take a shower in a saltwater system and you feel that slick feeling, that's the sodium that's in the water. With the chloride ions, you don't feel, so most people don't even think about discussing it. Honestly, a lot of people don't even realize they're there. But that's what really is wreaking havoc on your plumbing system. That goes back to will salt systems damage your plumbing system? Yes, they do. Chloride ions do not like to leave well enough alone. They will start to attack some of the metals and other materials that are in your plumbing system. One of the first things to get attacked is actually going to be the anode rod in your water heater. The anode rod, and there's a whole nother blog on what an anode rod is and what it does, but the short and dirty of it is, it's the sacrificial lamb of your water heater. It's there to take the beating so that the tank doesn't and prolong the life of the water heater. So those chloride ions, they get in that water heater and they just love to eat that anode rod up, and then once the anode rod is gone, now it's going after the rest of the tank, and boom. That's the most common right up front quick thing. Hey, your water heaters don't last as long on salt. Well, that's why. So are salt softeners beneficial? That kicks it right back up to what we discussed earlier. It depends on who you talk to. So one of the concerns may be health benefits. We've actually had to remove some systems from people with some conditions, and if that's something you're concerned with, talk to your doctor about that. We're not out to say, hey, you should take it off because of this or take it off because of that, but that is if you have issues with high blood pressure, that's usually one of the things you want to talk to your doctor about and make sure that it's your conditions, fine to have a salt system with. Outside of talking to your doctor to make sure that they're okay for you, something to consider is whether or not you like that slick feeling that you get when you're taking a shower. That is the only way to get that slick feeling from water treatment system is by using salt-based water softening system. Nothing else does it. Like I said before, that is the sodium that's in the water that's causing that slick feeling. Some people absolutely love it, and to them, it's worth the risk of replacing the water heater more often. We have a solution for that too, see Marathon water heaters. However, some people don't want to do that and replace their stuff more often, and they don't care about that slick feeling. So really benefits, yes or no, you can fall on both sides of the coin. It's really a personal decision what's right for you. But if you're looking into wanting to install a water softener or replace your water softener or have any other questions, feel free to give us a call at 623-486-4657 or at robinsplumbing.com. I'm done. I'm out. Bye.